Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special webinar on Mystery School 3. Dr. Pillai has agreed to join us, and that was unexpected, so we have a wonderful webinar here today. So Dr. Pillai has been doing Mystery School, a year-long premier program, for the third year. This is the third year starting now in 2019. And we have a few questions for him. So Dr. Pillai, thank you so much for taking time. I know you're in Tiruvannamalai, one of your favorite places, and thank you for joining us today. Can you help us understand, you've been doing Mystery School for 3 years now, what's different about this year?
I will try. Okay. I sort of answered this question before. This was asked before, or I asked this question myself and then gave the answer. Either one. It's going to be different in the sense that up until now, the Mystery School 1, 2, and then the other programs, the model has been just a lecture and then an hour of meditation, and then you do the same, you do the meditation for 1 month, or sometimes 1.5 months. It's not going to be like that anymore. It's going to be more exploratory on your part. You're going to ask yourself, are you changing? And if you don't change, then there's no point in doing this course. Are you changing in a meaningful way? In a meaningful way. What do I mean by are you changing? Or anybody changing? If your thoughts are quite new, they are no longer the old karmic thoughts. Life is karmic, meaning you have come here to go through life in a certain way. That's why most people join in a job and retire, take a pension, and then go to die and go to the graveyard. This is the pattern. This is karmic. What is non-karmic is you don't want to go through life like that because it has been so painful. In most cases, painful with regard to money, relationship, health. But then, although you are aware of it, it's not changing. And how do you know? Because we live that. And how do you change it? You change it by looking at your own thought forms. And I just introduced it to the people who are in the program already in Mystery School 2, just to have a taste of what it is going to be. So it is going to be, in that sense, you will do a lot of work. You will analyze your own thoughts and how to not only stop those thoughts, literally, it's just going to be like a machine watching the patterns and then trying to help you to break the pattern and then, just reprogram your mind on a very daily basis, very, very serious program. So when I conceived of the program, the Mystery School 3 program, this has been my primary goal, which will also be pretty much. However, Today I'm a very new person than when I gave the model. It's still valid because it's going to help. But then I have come up with something more valuable. And what is that? In the model that I just spoke about, which I thought would be the model for Mystery School 3, that you would be doing most of the work, then I would be doing less work. But now that has changed. I'm not even going to do the less work. I'm not going to do anything at all. Then you may ask, why do I have to do the program if you are not going to do anything? My current, not only understanding, but what I'm going to live is a life of total non-doing. And through this non-doing, just non-doing just simply doesn't mean that I'm not going to do or not to do. Doing here means even thinking. Thinking is also doing something. So I'm going to be totally silent. Not only silent, but also very vibrant. Vibrant with a lot of energy, with a lot of understanding, and a lot of ability to change not only myself, but others by not doing it. And this is called darshan. Darshan is just you look at me and that's it. Mm-hmm. You don't have to look at me on the monitor. You can even look at my picture and connect with me. And that will change your thoughts. I'm not going to do anything. The work that you will do to understand what a thought is, what is a karmic thought, and what is a non-karmic thought, what is mind, I will do something. Mm-hmm. That will be useful. But compared to my silence, compared to my non-doing, those type of analytical work, process work that you'll do, will be relatively unimportant. But then there is something, because you are not used to remaining in total silence, because you have not even understand what the mind is. I will do something because I will cover some basics. So the mind, when is awareness, and then it gets caught up with a thought. And a thought can be a combination of karmic thoughts, which is repetitive thoughts of relationship, money, worries, and also thoughts that you are trying to manipulate and bring it into your mind, and then the mind feeds on it. So we have to really distinguish your mind from the thoughts, what kind of thoughts, maneuvering thoughts versus trying to change your life, and the karmic thoughts. And the karmic thoughts are the worst thoughts, they are the repetitive thoughts. And how you can change those things, what are the techniques that you will be doing on a daily basis, that will be a process for you. These are essential, and I would give that to you. But I'm at a point, I wouldn't be even able to do that, because that to me is very hard. So what is easy for me, but what is more effective for you as well? either if I keep quiet. And in that quietness, I'll be able to do miracles, not only just for the participants in this program, even for the non-participants too. So everyone will be benefited by my deep silence, in which there is no effort whatsoever. I'm not making an effort to remain silent. I'm not making an effort to speak or do or think. It is total effortlessness
Is
of
there,
being quite natural. So
Dr.
that is going to be new.
So there'll be effortlessness on your part. What about
Yeah.
the part of the participant?
Eventually they have to get to that level. But then you have to go to, kindergarten, go to elementary school and so forth to get to graduate school. Okay. So what you need to do is you have to do the effort. That's what I said. I'm going to teach you about thoughts, karmic thoughts versus other thoughts. And so there will be steps for the process work that I will outline that. But you have to do the process work not only on a daily basis, but if possible on an hourly basis, then you can change. Okay? You are changing, and then you eventually land on a state of mind in which you know what to think. And as soon as you think, or even before you think, you are able to accomplish a lot. That thought manifests. The thought that you have not even thought, even prior to its coming into conscious awareness, that thought will manifest. I was going to think this thought, but then it has manifested itself. And that is complete freedom and mastery over human consciousness. That's divine consciousness.
Right. So the first stage is really to master the thoughts, because the thoughts are guiding and giving us the life that we have in our relationships and our money, our mindset. It's feeding our consciousness. And then once we're able to master, or at least get a better grasp on our thought processes, then we'll move into a more divine state where, and I'm asking this as a question, so then we'll move into a more divine state where the right thoughts will come upon us, as opposed to us generating them.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes. Yes and no. Yes, you understand. The no, I have to give you some understanding about it. It is not totally sequential, that you have to go through all these steps and finally you will arrive at the silence. The silence is already there within you. You are there. You are already enlightened. Okay? So it is already there. It's a matter of recognizing that. So it can happen simultaneously while you are looking at this process work. You can also slip into or become conscious of your own silence, which is the most desirable and the most powerful state in which you can accomplish things without having to do things. Okay, that is divine consciousness. So you are divine consciousness, you are human consciousness. But the problem is we choose not to live the divine consciousness, but only to live the human consciousness. That's why in one of the mystery school teachings, either the one mystery school 1 or 2, I said, every day we choose not to make money. You wake up in the morning and then you have made a choice. Today I won't make any money. I have made a choice. I choose not to make money. I choose to be unhealthy. I choose to have relationship problems. Because that's the human ignorance. So when you live the total silent state, which you are already, then all these things will go away. It is not just blah blah. It's not philosophy. It's not words. It's a matter of understanding. It's a matter of recognizing uh, what you are already, and acknowledging it, and embracing it, and living it with ease, effortlessness, joy, and bliss. Not intellectually, but existentially. Existentially, you will feel that there are no intellectual understanding will put you into that experience. Intellectual understanding will remain intellectual, but the experience doesn't require any doing or any thinking. That's why I call, it a darshan. Darshan, there is transmission. And I don't transmit consciously. Even that happens in a state of non-doing, non-thinking. And if everybody gets to that level, then everybody's life will be easy. It's not that Eastern philosophy is unknown to the Judeo-Christian studies. There is a psalm in the Old Testament which says, "Be still and know that you are God." Within the Japanese Zen tradition, when you know, you don't know. When you don't know, you know. Okay. So it is a matter of losing all your intellection, your discursive thinking, which is a superimposition of ignorant human mind on a divine mind that you have. And that's what gives me so much happiness to recognize that everybody can do it because everybody has it and everybody can live that. So that will be the Mystery School 3 teaching, that I am going to be present for you, even when I am not teaching, not once a month, not twice a month, but every day. I'm going to be with the people who are connecting, not only the Mystery School people, but anyone for that matter. So it's going to be, for me, 2019 is the year of miracles, not year of human, ignorant, time-bound activity or thinking. I think that's all I'm going to stop, because otherwise if I go on and on, I will be repeating myself, which is not that what I want to do. Mm-hmm. So all that I'm going to do is, if I have to say in one, 1 or 2 sentences, I would say I would be with you, teaching through silence, And that will be constant, not once or twice a month. And the goal being transformation and bliss through limited learning and more experiencing your own divinity. God bless.
Thank you very much, Papa. Okay. So we thank Dr. Pillai for coming and answering your questions and giving this overview, which is brand new from anything that he's done before. And I see there are some questions in the chat, which I will attempt to address. And then also on this call is Paru, who manages the mystery school. So if anything specific about the program, we can answer that for you. And just a quick recap of what Dr. Pillai said in terms of specifically also my experience, and I know other people who have been in programs with him, is that he will be basically laying the foundation for our transformation through his darshan, through his energy transmission, through his intention, enlightenment to support our transformation and then help us get experiences from that. So one of the things I wanted to ask him was, well, then what specifically, techniques will you be giving and things like that? But then he closed it down. So I'm not quite sure, but we'll just have to find out. And the beautiful thing is that Dr. Pillai is always 100% divinely guided, as you saw today, where he is changing now again what he originally said the mystery school would be about. And so when you're on a path with the enlightened master, it will continually change. And whether you're working with him in the same room across the country, you never see him, your experience can be that you go on this journey with him because he's plugging us into him. If we plug into him, he's plugging into us. And that's how the transmission works. One question you might have is, well, if he's doing this darshan and generating this energy and being in this stillness for us to benefit from, how do we access it? And that is, and he actually did answer this, which is looking at his picture or connecting with him inwardly, basically loving through love. It all works through the heart. And he mentioned that the intellect will not be part of the process, and we will be diving into experience. And my experience is that this works through the channel of love. And that's how Jesus is beloved and how people have miracles with him, because they love him. So if you have a teacher, and if Dr. Pillai is your teacher and you love him, the answer is to connect with him inwardly, and he will connect with you. Now, Dr. Pillai also said that this is not just the sun is coming out. This is not just for mystery school people. This is for everyone. So that's great news. In 2019, Dr. Pillai's energy will be more accessible to all of us who connect with him. So your job is to do that, to have a picture, to talk to him, to look at him, to hear his voice, listen to his videos. And if you can't do any of that, just think about him in your heart and send love towards him. So that is the start for your connection with him and to him for 2019. And that's going to be, as we heard, a huge part of his teachings. When you're in mystery school, you are more connected in a sense that we're doing remedies every single day to help us, to help clear the thoughts and karma of the participants. When you have less thoughts and you're able to connect, and then you're able to connect more. We have less karma that keeps you from doing your practice or connecting with Dr. Pillai or connecting with other gods and goddesses. So these remedies are a huge part of the program because they are help to accelerate all the experiences that we would be having. So that's what makes in my opinion, that's what's different about whether you're doing this beyond mystery school, just connecting with Dr. Pillai, or within mystery school. And then, of course, within Mystery School, you're also getting this direct guidance from Dr. Pillai on what he wants us to be doing, the processes, as he mentioned. So he will be doing some teachings, but then we will kind of going off and doing this exploratory experiential program as well, and then there will be communication with the facilitators of the program, the people that he entrusts to help guide the participants, and he feeds usually those people some more information about how the program is going, what to pass on to the participants, and he also has ways that he has already put in place for this program, such as at-home remedies and rituals that we will be doing to accelerate our progress. So not only has he laid the foundation of what can accelerate our progress, what can heal our souls, what can make this easier and faster for us, which are the remedies. And then on top of that are the teachings. He'll be giving these specific teachings every month or so. And then on top of that, I shouldn't say on top, there's not layers, but really, and then the foundation for it all is his blessings, is access to his darshan, his energy transmission, and that's what he was talking about today. So I hope that I got that all correct, and I hope that I translated that in a way that was understandable. And so now I'd like to see if there are any questions that I could possibly answer. Someone is asking, how do I participate when my nose is to the grind and I cannot afford to put food on the table for my family? That's a good question, because that's survival mode, right? So a lot of people are in survival mode, but being in survival mode does not mean you can't or don't have time to think about God, right? There's always time to have God in your life. And that's, I think, what Dr. Pillai is saying here, that it doesn't have to be linear. Like I asked the question, do we have to stop our thoughts first and then get to a divine, kind of a divine knowing? And he said, no, we're all already enlightened. It's a matter of getting to that stillness. It may be harder for you when you are in a deeper survival mode, and that is to be acknowledged, that it may be harder for you because you have a lot more going on in your mind. However, knowing that we are already enlightened, knowing that we are already gods and goddesses, should hopefully be something that helps you to feel solace in that you can get there, and that it takes the stillness. So your fight then is how still can you get? And that it's not about being active, right? It's about being still. So yes, there's the grind that we all have to do, and working, and then taking on our stillness, and that being a major component of how we are improving our lives and connecting with God. Another question. Dr. Pillai's most of the programs are all about thought manifestation. If most of them help to manifest, then why is it needed another program of this kind? Why does he have different techniques? Is it different techniques work differently for different people? Yes, Jamir, you answered your own question. There are a lot of manifestation techniques out there. Dr. Pillai has a lot of techniques, a lot of mantras, a lot of programs, and different souls are attracted to different techniques. And also we connect differently with different techniques, different mantras. And if we were all able to just manifest so quickly, we wouldn't need more techniques or additional teachings. However, I believe is what he's also doing is taking us down this journey into the light. And that is what he talked more about today, which is less about he didn't talk about the physical manifestations hardly at all, right? He talked about how when we reconnect to our divinity, that the goal, he said, is bliss and miracles. And that is manifestation, right? But that's both spiritual and material manifestation. Once you have the spiritual handled and you don't have hangups about manifesting materially, then that can happen for you. So I hope that answered your question. Someone's asking, is it really about thought manifestation? Is that the key? Well, Dr. Pillai answered that because I asked it, right? I said, well, is it that, we know that our thoughts are maintaining our life. Our thoughts are feeding what we create in our world. Our thoughts are always creating. We are always creating. And then he said, it's not a linear thing where you're first handling your thoughts and then the divine is coming upon you. It can be simultaneous. And that is where we believe in and have experiences of our divine self. And that is where we are accessing more of the commitment of our divine recognition. Let's see other questions. Faith in him is key. Here's a guest saying, faith in him is key. Know that faith in him will save you the way it has saved me. Whatever he said, it's a divine language. And I personally don't question the divine. Faith is everything. Thank you. There's not a name there, it's just a guess, but I thank you for saying that. That is absolutely true. Absolutely true. And when he said he'll be doing less, but the stillness will basically create more, that's our faith and our love is what connects us to that possibility and makes that work. Makes that work. Now, yes, we may have doubts and we have thoughts, but so do the apostles, right? Would they get through it, right? You keep believing until it's utter possibility, which is Dr. Pillai's definition of faith. I was with someone last night and he's been through a tough time. And he said, it took time, but he got to the place where there was faith, but faith had some doubt. And then he moved into, with Dr. Pillai and moved into this space where it was just knowingness. He knows Dr. Pillai will save his life. He knows Dr. Pillai will protect him. There is a knowingness. And when you get to that place of total faith, there's nothing left, right? What's left when you have total faith? Of course it'll happen. Of course God will be there for you. Let's see, any other questions? There's a question, and this is a good one, and it says, I subscribe to everything being said here, and I embrace all these experiences. However, the cost of mystery school appears to be exceedingly prohibitive to most people seeking this important consciousness. That's correct. It is a more expensive program, and so it's not for everyone. And that is also why Dr. Pillai said today that his energy, this darshan he's generating, will be accessible to everyone. So you will have his energy, his consciousness, his blessings. You just won't have the rest of the program that I explained, which is the daily remedies, which is the teachings that he puts out. And please understand, there is an exchange, right? There is an energy exchange that goes with the effort of the enlightened being, right? So in thousands of years ago, when people were going to see the saints and siddhas and the Buddha, they traveled many miles on foot and they brought with them whatever they had, right? They just, okay, this is my master here. This is my, here's my fruit. Here's my clothes. Here's everything, right? So that I can learn from you. We don't have that these days, right? But we have money. We have another form of energetic exchange. And the mystery school has a higher energetic exchange because there's a higher energetic exchange from Dr. Pillai, as well as the support of the program. There's the remedies, as I said, get done for you every single day. So there's upkeep. There's, and then we send people out to all these temples around India to do remedies for you. So there's a definite cost involved to this program. And Dr. Pillai did not and never has compromised on these remedies being done. And that is one of the costs of this program, and that's what bumps up the the price higher, and that, you know, so that's what we pay for. So if that's not in your realm right now, your financial realm and your budget, which is understandable, then please fall back on the knowing that Dr. Pillai is with us, and that what we'll do is do another webinar. We'll do another free webinar on how to connect with him. How do we use this in this new consciousness that he's bringing forth to create the 2019 that we want? So we want to offer that to you for free and help people have these experiences with him. However, the people who are able to put themselves into mystery school, they do have these added benefits. They have these added benefits of personalized teachings with Dr. Pillai. And when I say personalized, I don't mean one-on-one, but I mean each month or whenever he delivers them in real time of his teaching. And then there will also be the remedies that get performed for you. And then the community that is there and the guidance given by Dr. Pillai on that, as well as the at-home remedies that he'll be teaching. So I hope that helps. I understand it's, you know, it's not easy for everyone to be able to get into this program, and that's why I say it's not for everybody. But for those of you who have a calling, that this is something you want to do, this is an endeavor you want to take, the program starts on February 1st. So we'll be beginning then on Dr. Pillai's birthday. So we invite you to take the leap and join the program if this feels right for you, and we'll see you in February. But those of you who aren't able to afford it, then we'll definitely be doing a webinar to support your journey as well, and that'll be free. I don't know when that's going to be yet, because that just came about, because this is all new information, and that's the world of Dr. Pillai. When, you know, we got on this call, I had no idea what he was going to say. He just asked me to, you know, kind of kick it off, and then it's all new, it's all different, and that's the life of Dr. Pillai. Any other questions? There's someone here talking about their family. Nothing seems to work for me. I'm hitting a rock. That's karma. No, you're not doomed, but that's karma. And that is the experience of a lot of humans. The good thing is you're recognizing it, and that you have the techniques from Dr. Pillai to help you offset the impact of it. So for anyone having extreme karmic situations, Brzee, Shreem Brzee, ideal mantra to use that will destroy negativity as well as give prosperity, give joy. So highly recommend that you chant Shreem Brzee. Someone's asking if there'll be discounts. No, this program is not discounted. It started out at $1,000 a month many years ago, when we first started the premier year-long program. And basically we've gotten it down to basically our minimum of what we need to have for this program to function and work. So there's no discounts for Mystery School. But we've, over the years, dwindled it down to what we need to make it function. But yeah, it was $10,000 for the year, or $1,000 a month when we started out. Any other questions? No? Looks like we handled them all. If you have any other questions, please send them in to office@pillaicenter.com. We'd be happy to accommodate. And if there's anyone who has any issues with registering or questions about registering, please let us know, office@pillaicenter.com. And as I said, the program starts February 1st on Dr. Pillai's birthday. We look forward to seeing you there. Quick shout out to the, also February 1st is Dr. Pillai's birthday, and he'll be doing a proxy teaching, or I shouldn't say proxy, but he'll be doing a live teaching on his birthday as well, which is separate than Mystery School, but wanted to make sure everyone knew about that. And and you can connect with him there as well. So thank you all for joining. We wish you an amazing, transformational, and experiential year here at Pillai Center, and we love your presence. Thank you for being here, and thank you for contributing to us and the community and the world. And we look forward to many more experiences with Dr. Pillai this year. And we're so grateful to God giving us this ability to be here, to connect, and to receive teachings from an enlightened master like Dr. Pillai. So we'll talk to you all soon. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.